Yeah, good day, guys. It's Vicol here, and it's been a while I did something on C program because I've been a bit busy lately. So, in this video, we're covering C program, a GP calculator in C. How do you calculate GP when a user enters the score they had and the units of each courses? So, this is the approach I'm going to be following. I listed them out here in comment already. So, first, we want to know the amount of courses the student is offering. And why we're going to be doing this first is because if the person is going to be offering just one course, we want our program to calculate to run this calculator once. If the person is going to be offering two courses, we want our program to know that okay, fine, this person is not just doing one course. The person wants to calculate the average, like the GPA for two courses. So that is the first thing we're going to be asking the person. How many courses are you offering? So if the person is offering 10 courses, our program would calculate this thing based on 10 different inputs. So that is why we need to first know the amount of courses the student is doing. Now next, we want to know the total units of the collective courses. After telling the person to input the amount of courses they are doing, let's say they are doing like 6 courses, we want the person to tell us how many units is the total units. So if you are doing 6 courses and probably 3 units per one, then that's going to be 18 units in total. So that way we'll be able to calculate our GP, because the formula for GP is your total points divided by your total number of units. So if your total points is about, let's say, 93 and they're offering like 18 unit courses, and like let's order 20 units, so you just be basically doing 90 divided by 20, something like that. So we want to get the total units, and we also want to get the amount of courses they're doing, so that we can know these two things first. So after that, I want to create a loop to run for as long as the user has not imputed all these courses finished. So we're going to be creating a loop. I did a video already on covering loop. I would put a link to it in this video and also in the description, so you can check that video out so that you're able to get clear understanding of what we're going to be doing here too. So for loops in C, we're going to be doing the loop such that the program will run the calculation for each score and each unit as long as the person has not finished. So we're going to be offering 5 courses, or you're entering like 6 courses. Once you do the first one, the program knows that okay, fine, you told us you're going to be doing 6. It will run again for the second input. You've done 2 out of 6. The program knows you're going to 6. It's good for the third time, for the fourth and fifth and sixth time. Until it gets to the 6th time, is when to stop. So I'm going to be creating a loop that will run and calculate these things per each courses they are entering. So now inside the loop, we want to make sure we run a decision making statement to check the point for each score entered. So fine, our program is not getting the points from the user. What do I mean? Like in Nigeria grading school system, I've done a video that covered this already. Now from 70 to 100 is A, from 60 to 69 is B, from 50 to 50 and 59 is C, then 45 to 59 is D, and 40 to 44 is E, something like that. So that way, the person is not going to be entering whether they had an A in the course, or they had a B in the course, or they had a C in the course. They're going to be entering the number. So when they entered the number, the score they had, we want to do a decision making statement so that our program will see what they have and then compare it with, we're going to give it some decisions. Okay, if the score is above 70, then the person has an A. If the score is around 60 to 69, maybe 64, the person has a B in that particular course, and that B is going to be related to 4. Y is 5, B is 4, C is 3. So that is now what we're going to be using to multiply. In the next step is we'll multiply each point by the number of units. So if person has like 64, which is a 4, which is B, which is 4, and the person has that 64 in a 3 unit course, so the point for that one is 4 multiplied by 3, which will be 12 points for that particular course. So after now getting all this, we want to now do what? Summing. After summing it to get the total points, we'll now divide it by the total number of units to get the GPA. So that's basically the approach we're going to be following. So let's start. So now getting started, we've included our 2 libraries we need, the header files we need, and this is our main function. So inside here, we're going to first be telling the user to enter the number of courses they are offering. And now I want to also store it in a variable called, let's name our variable called name let's call our variable number of courses, num underscore of underscore courses. So now once the person enters the number of courses they're offering, total number of courses, enter the total number of courses you're offering. So after the person enters that, also want to enter the total number of units. So we'll also be storing this one in a variable called total number of units. So now we have these two already. Person entered the total number of courses, probably 7 or 6 or 12 or 11, as much as they can, and the total number of units. So now after getting these two, we want to now create a loop. So we create a for loop starting from 1, I should be 1. Then as long as the number I is less than or equal to the total number of units, this program should run. They want to increment I afterwards. So now this is our for loop. We are inside of the for loop already. Inside the for loop, we want to, this loop now is going to run as much time as the person, as much time as the total number of courses the person is offering. So if the person entered 8 courses, this loop is going to run for 8 times. So now in the first iteration, we want to tell the user to enter the first score. So enter the score for course 1, but instead of saying course 1, course 2, you can just put %d and name this I. So in this interpretation of this is enter the score for course, then this %d will be replaced by I, which will start from 1. So if the program runs this first time, it will say enter the course for score 2. If it runs the second time, enter the score for course 3, course 2. If it runs the third time, enter the score for course 3, and so on. So after doing this, we want to also save the value in a variable. %d here is going to be an integer. So we want to save this in a variable and let's name it score. Okay, so we name it score now. So now we've gotten the score. We also want to collect the value for the units. So for this particular course, I want to get the value for the unit. So let me say enter the units for the course, unit of the course, and I want to store it in a variable called units. So now running this now, the program stores, you have the score of the first course and this unit of this course. So what I want to do now is now run the decision making statement, because like this, if you cannot calculate your GPA by multiplying your score by your units. No, it's your points you are going to be needing. If your grade is between 70 to 100 and it's an A, that is 5 points. And if it's between 60 to 65, then that is 4 points, something like that. So that will not be multiplied to your number of units to know the grade actually. So you want to do a decision making statement and say, okay, if what? I start by saying if the score is greater than 70. So then let's say grade is equal to grade is equal to, which is A. This one is A, so it will be 5. So we do an else if statement to check if the score is a B score, and the B score is greater than or equal to 60. Sorry, this is greater than or equal to 70 because it starts from 70. So this is greater than or equal to 60, and score is also less than 70. So here grade is going to be 4. So I'll repeat this now for some other conditions coming. So this is 5, 4, 3, so 1, 0. Yeah. So in place of this 17 and 60, this will be less than or equal to 50, or less than 60. This will be less than or equal to 45, or less than 50, less than or equal to 40, or less than 49. So greater than or equal to, and this is just greater than or equal to 0, and less than 39. So as you can see, this program, you have if score is greater than 70, greater than or equal to 70, then the grade is 5. if score is greater than or equal to 60 and is less than 70 at the same time, meaning within the range of 60 to 70, the person is a B, which is 4 points, 4 grade, sorry, 4 points anyhow. So yeah, this is between 50 to 60, we're going to use 3. Between 45 to 50, 45 to 49, we're going to use 2. Between 40 to 49, sorry, this is meant to be 40 to 44, yes, between 40 to 44, that is E, this is D, this is C, this is B, this is A. So now from 0 down to 39 is now going to be F, which is 0 for the grade. So now we've gotten, well, let's try to imagine this thing for the first iteration. So the first iteration, score is, let's say, 70 and the unit is 2. So since score is 70, this is what to run this first part, because 70 is equal to 70. So we are going to be getting our grade as what, 5. So what I want to do next according to this is what, where is it? Okay, multiply each point by what, the number of units. So meaning I'll take this point and this grade, which is 5, I'll multiply by this unit here. So that'll be 5 times the 2 units I said I'm doing, which will be 10. So which is, yeah, that is it for it. So what I want to do now is, let's say points equals to our grade multiplied by the units for this particular iteration. So the person had 70 score, the grade is 5, so that would be 5 now multiplied by 2 units, meaning 10 points. That is 10 points. So now this is just 10 points. What I want to do now is because this is just for the first course. So if the program runs this again for the second time, and let's say the second course the person has 66 is within this range, so the grade will be 4, and let's say the 3 unit course, so that will be, yeah, point is going to be equal to 66 multiplied by 3, and that will be 18. Sorry, 4 multiplied by 3, that is 12. Sorry, because the grade here we saw was 4, because it's 66 within this range. So that will be 4 multiplied by 3, that's 12. So, but yes, as you're seeing this, it's a repetition. So for every time it's going to be running the value for point, it will keep replacing the previous value. What do I mean? If you're running for the first time now, like the first one we did, point was I think it was 10, because the person had 70 score, which the grade was 5, and it was a 2 unit course. So 5 times 2 was 10. But once the thing run for the second time and the person inputs another input, this value for point is going to be replaced because we didn't store it somewhere else. So what I want to do now is, let's call another variable calc, and let's use calc to sum up this thing. So calc is going to be equal to calc plus point. Now what this means is, for every time our program keeps getting a value for this point, it will be adding it and summing it to this calc. Now get me? Every time you're going to be calculating this point, the value is going to be stored inside of this calc, because here I was saying that calc should be equal to what? Calc plus point. But before then, in the top part of our program, we have to initialize calc to a value of 0, so that once this program runs this for loop now for the first time, this thing is going to run as what? Calc is equals to 0 plus points, whereas the point there was, okay, for the first time I did it, that the person had 10, then calc is going to be 0 plus 10. Now when the program runs the second time, where the person had 12 for the 66 and a 3 unit course, now 66 is B, which is 4 times 3 units, 12. So the second time, point is going to be equal to 12. So our program is now going to store what's inside calc. It will be storing what? The previous value of calc, which was 10, plus points. That will be 10 plus 12. So now the new value of calc is now going to be equal to 22. So even if it runs for the third time, and let's say the person scores 50 is 3, let's say it's a 1 unit course, that's 3 times 1, 3. So point here is going to be scoring the value of 3, because 3 times 1 is 3. But then calc is not going to be storing what? Calc, which was 22, plus this new value for points, which is 22 plus 3, that's 25. So now it's this value of calc that is the cumulative that is storing that is summing up the points we have after summing the total points. So it's value of calc now that we're not going to be focusing on, because for every iteration in this for loop, calc is storing each and every value of the courses you are doing. So if you are doing, let's say the person is doing 3 courses, for the first 3 courses, calc is going to be holding the value of the total points the person has. So now after doing this with calc, we now want to come out of the loop. Why we're coming out of the loop is because the loop is going to be doing multiple times. So we're going to come out of the loop if we want to do the calculation for the GP. So now that we asked the person initially to enter the total number of units, we asked the person to enter the total number of units before even starting the loop, and now we've calculated with calc for the total number of points. So the formula for GP is just going to be, we're going to say float GP is going to be equal to what? Now we're going to do calculation here, which will be calc divided by total number of units that we collected in the first place. So after the end of this program, I want to print the value for %f GP. I'm using %f here because GP is going to be a floating data type. It will be 4 point something, 4.3, 4.4, 4.05, 4.23. It's not going to be just an integer data type. So now, and also while we're doing this outside of this for loop, you can see the for loop started here and it ended here. Why I didn't out of the for loop is because we don't want to be printing this for every iteration. Not that the person will put their first score, probably 73 in a 2-unit course, and we'll be printing the GP out for them. No, we want this loop to run, and when it's done running, like if person is offering 12 courses, when you are done with all the input of the 12 courses, the courses and the units, then we now want to use those values to print this to the screen. So now, as you can see in this code, we didn't initialize any and declare any variable at all. So I would come to the top of my program now and declare variables. So here, total number of courses, it will be an integer, int total num of courses, comma, I'll be having total number of units too. We also use %d, so I'll have it as an integer too. Which other one did we use? Which other variable did we use? We use score and units. So score 2 units. We also used grade. Grade is also going to be a variable. It's a variable. It's going to be an integer data type. And points is going to be an integer data type because we're just storing 5 times 3. 5 is going to be an integer data type. So I'm going to be having points. But now, as you can see, for calc, because we're going to be using calc as a numerator, like we're going to be doing a calculation on calc as a numerator, so this value has to be a floating data type, because we're going to be calculating it also for GP. We're going to be using it in the calculation of the GP. So we're going to be doing float calc here. Let me say it's float calc equals 0. So this is just how many lines of code, not up to 54 though, because we had comments here. So now let's run this program now and let's see how it goes. Hope there's no error. Now let's run this. 0. So float calc equals 0. Then you can see everything. I didn't terminate this here. Like after this, my declaration at the top, I didn't terminate this number line 18. So let's run this now again. What is this for again? I declared units instead of units. So let me take the S away and let's run this. Now so the program is running. So enter the total. Let me zoom this in. So enter the total number of courses you are offering. So let's say I'm offering, let's just like 2 courses. So total number of units, let's say 3 units, I have 6 courses. So for score 1, let's say I had 77 in a 3-unit course. I'll have to redo this printf. It's aligning with each other. This is turning to 13, this is turning to 177. So for my second course, let's say I had 66 in a 2-unit course. Wait, why is this running? There's an error somewhere. It's less than or equal to. There's an error somewhere. This is meant to be total number of courses. Sorry, pardon me. this is total number of courses. You see, as I specified total number of units there to be 6. The program was already asking me for input 3. So this is meant to be total number of courses. So this program will run for as long as the total number of courses is not exceeded. So if I put 2 there, once it reaches 2, it's going to stop. And let's also correct these things that were here. Yeah. Okay, now let's run this again. So enter the total. So enter the total number of courses you're offering. 2. Total number of units 6. So for course 1, let's say 70 in a 3-unit course, and 68 in a 2-unit course. So as you can see, this is showing 3.833333 as a GP. But let me try to do my normal calculation myself and confirm it later. Yes, so I just confirmed it now, and the calculation is very accurate. If you had 70, which is an A in a 3-unit, and you have a B in a 2-unit, the GP for those two is going to be 3.833. Yeah. So let's run this now again for another check. So let me do the same 2 units, and let's see if a student has CC grade, like 2 C's. So let's say the first one you had 51. Sorry, total number of units, not that. Sorry. So let's run this now. Total number of courses, 2 courses, and let's say 6 units still. So for course 1, let's say 51, 3 units, and the second one 55 for 3 units. So the person is having 2 C's in 3 units. So let's see how bad or how good the GP is going to be. So now definitely the person is going to be on a 3.0000 GP, because the first one you had 3 points in 3 units, that's 3 times 3, which is 9. Second one, 3 in a 3 units, that's 3 times 3, which is 9. So 9 plus 9 is 18 divided by your total number of units, which is 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. So now let's not try this with a view. Let me try to make a long confirmation. So F9. Let's do for 10 courses. 10 courses with let me say 22 units as a total. So let's go. The first score, let's say 72 in 3 units. Second score 66, let's say 1 unit. Third score 82 in 3 units. Third one 56 in 2 units. Sorry, fifth one now we have let's say 65 in 2 units. Then 49 2 units. Then 60 in 2 units. Then 88 in 3 units. Then 73 in 3 units. And then this will be the last one, I believe. Oh, I chopped off something really. 72, 66, 82. Okay, 70. That's 1 unit. 56, 65, 76. Okay, I jumped. Okay, this is also 1 unit. 49, 60, 88, 73. Okay, 77 in 1 unit course. So, yeah, with this result that year, this person is on a 4.31. Like almost, I was making 4.32 GP. So you can do this calculation yourself and see whether this calculator is actually correct or wrong. So thank you very much for watching. I really hope you understand, and yeah, I believe you do, because it's very explanatory. Do well to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel, and also hit thumbs up to like this video so others can find it really useful. Thank you very much guys for watching. See you next time.